Ladies and gentlemen, today on A Cow's Opinion, we look at the fact that Nintendo isn't looking to revolutionize, but just continue the success of the Switch with Switch 2, or whatever they're going to call it, and talk about it later. This is A Cow's Opinion. And did you think I was gone? I wasn't gone, guys. It was just, Christmas. Plus, end of the year, there wasn't a ton of great news that I really thought I should cover. But we are finally in 2024. You look fantastic, by the way. And we are finally ready to start talking about all the greatest, latest, and most innovative, interesting, and sometimes mind-boggling news that you can find all over the internet here on A Cow's Opinion. We still have Let's Plays. We got 2 or 3 games that we're looking at over the next couple of months so that you can have that continuous game content. Let me know down in the comments what you like, what you don't like. We are getting closer and closer to 500 subs with the little channel that could. And right now, I want to talk about this article from Andy Robertson at Video Games Chronicle, because everyone is saying that the Switch 2 is coming, but it's not a revolution, but more of an iteration of the success of the Switch. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. So let's look at the article and let's get to the opinion part. Now, according to Dr. Serkan Toto, the CEO of the Tokyo-based games industry consultancy Katan Games, he has contributed to his forecast of this year in GamesIndustry.biz's annual analyst, predicting that the Switch successor, currently being called Switch 2 because we don't have anything else to call it, is coming out this year. Now, it's been widely reported that we can confirm, while we can't confirm a release date, we can confirm that development kits are in the hands of developers as the platform is getting ready. It makes sense. Nintendo has the best first-party lineup of any of the big 3 console makers. I'm sorry, you just can't argue that. You can't. Even with Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard, as a whole, I would say Nintendo's lineup is stronger. But Nintendo has had an odd amount of sense with the Switch because it's portable and it's powerful enough to play a lot of different games. And so a lot of games that usually wouldn't be picked up on a console are because of the portability and the usefulness of the Switch. You can play it on a big screen TV. You can play it on your computer screen. You can play it on the go. It's kind of why people were so disappointed in some of the functions of the PlayStation Portal. Now, the Portal is great if you want just another screen while your family is using the TV that your console, your PS5 is attached to. But it was not what they were wanting. They were wanting the Sony version of a Switch. I can go anywhere. But the Portal doesn't play games. It only streams games from your PlayStation console, which means that you have to be within a certain range. You can't take it out of the house. Now, Mr. Toto is saying that the console could launch $100 higher at a $400 price point. Excuse my enunciation. I'm just so excited to be talking to you guys again. And it could adopt the $70 game. Oh, God. Guys, the cow apologizes. But yeah, this is the one part of the article I don't like. An extra $100 really sucks. And the fact that their first-party games could be $70 really, really sucks. Look, I get a lot of mileage on this channel out of games that retail for between $20 and $40. And in fact, some of our best stuff is from games that are $20 to $40. It just really freaking sucks to see the Switch go up in price and the $70 price point per game. Now, the Switch may be going up in price because, as he says in his report, the next system is also likely to be an iteration rather than a revolution, but Nintendo might add some bells and whistles, which means, a more powerful console, longer battery life, better controllers that don't drift as much as people have been having problems with. This could all be happening. We don't know yet, and I would not expect anything, even if it launches this year. It's going to be spring before they confirm anything. And of course, Pokemon is associated with handheld gaming, and there's no way on earth that Nintendo's going to drop that. Now, Nintendo's president, Shuntaro Furukawa, declined to say anything back in November, but did confirm that Switch had sold well over 130 million units. And we have their sales right here. Here's Japan is the blue line, the Americas is the red line, and the vast majority of that is probably North America, specifically the United States, although I'm sure we got some decent showings from Canada and Mexico in here as well. Europe is this one, and then other is green. So basically Japan, most of the United States, but all of the Americas, all of Europe, and then here is, I would say, mostly Southeast Asia, Australia. You're going to get a little Middle East, you're going to get a little Africa, but you're not going to get a lot. And that's why the green bar, even though it represents so many other countries in the world, is always the lowest by a significant margin. And then here you have the sales going up a little in 2020, and then 21-22 with the pandemic. Of course, we had some robust sales growth as we all had to stay indoors. And then decline in 23. Now, the article does mention that the sales are clearly in decline, as we can also see from the chart, at 22%, but I feel that that's a little disingenuous because it was just massive selling when we couldn't go outside. So the fact that it declined last year, which was the first real full fiscal year where life had resumed a more normalcy, is a little disingenuous, but it's not a terrible decline, really. Actually, because this is where it was before, and it has stayed above pre-pandemic levels. So I would say it's pretty good. We can also get a little more from this chart. You can tell that, again, most of the world does not sell a lot of Switch. And it says 1,000 up here. Is that a million? It can't be. I don't know what it... I don't know what the chart numbers mean, unfortunately. They did not decide... For some reason, they decided to not tell you. It's 132 million total when you look at it. But as you can see, of course, the United States loves its gaming. It's always going to be the biggest. We have Europe and Japan decently close, which makes sense. Japan is very big in gaming. Europe is as big as America, but lower GDP because it's a bunch of different countries, some of which are kind of close to the United States and some which are not as far as economics. And then, of course, look, this is mostly probably Australia. They got some Chinese sales in here. They got some international sales. But yeah, I would never... Only in the deep end of the pandemic is it crossing this 250, which is where Japan was its first year. And if it reaches its current target of 15 million for this year, that will represent a further decline of 16.5%. We've got the estimates right now. You can see Japan's a little ahead of North America. And again, I feel like it's a little... It wouldn't surprise me in its 7th year on the market to see it go down. But it's a little disingenuous after a couple years of pandemic. I can't believe that now that people can go outside, they're not spending as much money on video games. I can. So what's a cow's opinion? Again, the pricing sucks. $400 console, $70 first-party titles. Yeah, that sucks. But here's the thing. Inflation is a thing. It's hitting hardware manufacturers. Nintendo is unique among hardware manufacturers in that they do not sell consoles at a loss. They actually make, usually, a small amount of money, if not breaking in on the hardware. Which is one of the reasons why their stuff is less powerful, but more user-friendly to develop and more fun, sometimes. So, based on everything that this article is saying, the rumors that we've heard all last year, Switch 2 is probably going to be another portable console. It's probably going to have a nice jump in power. Now that they've, really gotten to experiment and see what works and what doesn't, I don't think that Nintendo games are going to be as low compared to current generation of other consoles. But honestly, here's just a random video of Super Mario Wonder. The game looks fine. And ultra realistic is starting to get people annoyed. People are tired of these games that take massive amounts of your hardware, your space to download on your console and your PC. And spoiler alert, one of the reasons why they don't bother to compress it more isn't because they can't. It's because people who've worked for Call of Duty have admitted they know that you're less likely to put other shooters on your console if Call of Duty is taking up a lot of room. Which is garbage, but that's just how they think. So I think it's going to keep the portability. I think that there's going to keep being a lot of stuff. And I'm kind of hoping that my HD Plus will work with the Switch as well and let me record stuff for it if I can get a Switch too. But you never know. But look, there'll be new games. Probably, I would expect Star Fox, Mario, all your heavy hitters. Nintendo's really good about putting out some decent games at launch, whereas other game consoles, it can be kind of hit and miss. The console's usually pretty good, but it's weak. It's harder than ever to launch a console, I think, because you can't show, here's our new photorealistic graphic. Well, all the graphics are photorealistic if they want them to be. So that in itself is not necessarily a selling point anymore. I'm honestly a little surprised if the Switch... I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 does not come out this year. Most consoles like to have a 10-year cycle. This is its 7th year. So it's a little early. But, maybe they've just gotten innovative enough to where they feel comfortable launching early. But, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you excited for a more powerful, portable, amazing Nintendo console? Are you unhappy that's going to take $400 out of your bank account? Are you really unhappy like I am that the games could cost $70 again? What are you expecting and what do you want from a new console? Or are you just tired of the console fanboyism and wish they'd all just put their games out on Steam so that we don't have to put up with this? Let me know down below. And you know what else you can do? It's 2024. You can subscribe because we need to hit 500. But you can play more games. Games are awesome and you deserve awesome. I'll see you next time, a lot of times in 2024.